Hey everybody, AYBL Main here, and I'm coming back at you today so that I can continue with my series of the top 5 albums for every year that I've been alive. We're currently hitting the 1990s, and this is 1990. You get that 1 year to take a deep breath before 1991 hits, and music starts to get a little crazy. So, jumping right in, let's talk. Definitely my top 5 is going to be Violator from Depeche Mode. It certainly is their most commercially successful album. It's got Enjoy the Silence and Personal Jesus. My favorite song is Policy of Truth. Kind of interesting that a synth pop band like them was still going to be relevant here in the early 1990s. But it was a great album and it really appealed to the masses. So they definitely deserve to be here. Also in my top 5 was the Black Crowes' Shake Your Money Maker, an album that sounded nothing like what was out there at the time. Had a nice mixture of rock and blues and very distinctive vocal styles that was really cool. She Talks to Angels was on there. Jealous Again, which is my favorite track. They also do a cover of Hard to Handle, which they did a very good job on. So Black Crowes were going to be around for just a few more years after that, but this album here, definitely a high trademark for them. So also in my top 5 is going to be Sinead O'Connor's I Don't Want What I Haven't Got. Very interesting that she basically took this hard left turn right in the middle of her career and almost seemed to self-sabotage herself. But putting all that stuff aside, Sinead O'Connor's album here was a solid album. It was very well produced. Her vocals were at the top of her game. Never mind that Just Nothing Compares to You. I mean, that was a great song in of itself, but still, I Am Stretched on Your Grave was on there. The Emperor's New Clothes was on there. Black Boys on Mopeds was actually on there. Some really good tunes on there, and it was just so well crafted, and her vocals came off so sincere. I'm not sure what happened with Sinead personally, but all that being said, I think it's a great album. Definitely deserved to be in my top 5 for the 1990s. Also in my top 5 is going to be Bad Religion's Against the Grain. It's my favorite Bad Religion album. Some people are going to say that Stranger Than Fiction is their best album. I don't think so. I like this one the best. Even just off the strength of the first side bookend track Faith Alone, which I think is one of my top 100 songs of all time for sure. Just on that alone, it would propel it in the top 5 for this particular year. So Bad Religion makes the cut for me for sure. But winning for the year, I think is the best overall album, is Chuck D and Flavor Flav and the Boys, Public Enemy's Fear of a Black Planet. Burn Hollywood Burns on there, 911 as a Joke is on there, and Fight the Power, which is like their huge trademark track for them. The song that appeared on Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing over and over again. It's a great album. It's one of the pinnacle rap albums of all time, and it's a must own and a must listen for anybody who hasn't listened to it yet. Keeping with hip hop and the rap scheme, I'm going to actually talk about the album that everybody said I would love, but I actually didn't. And it's not so much that I hated the album, but it was heralded as his best album, and I don't think that it was. And that's Ice Cube America, KKK's Most Wanted. I don't think it was his best album. I thought Death Certificate was his best album, and slightly followed by The Predator, which has my favorite song by Ice Cube, The Wicked, on there. If you want to check that out. I just think that America's Most Wanted just didn't have all the crafty sampling that the other two albums did, and it didn't have the same type of great melodies and everything and good hooks as the other two did. I think it was his first album, and there was some maybe some sympathetic things because he just broke up with NWA, and everybody just wants to assume that that's going to be his best album because it was his first. But I don't think so. The other two albums were better, and maybe even a few albums further on down the road might have even been better still. So that's the album that everybody said I would love, but I actually didn't. So coming up next, guys, is 1991. This is going to be tough, guys. When I come up with 5, I know that there's going to be some huge disagreements about how the 5 turns out, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you very soon.